Hey everyone, so I'm on a little bit early. Figured I'd make sure the stream's working and everything. So we'll give people a chance to pop in here. So this is my first live video, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or otherwise. Most of the time I do my videos pre-recorded. That fits my personality a little bit better. I tend to like to think about what I'm going to say in detail before I say it. So the lives are a little bit new for me, but it's something that everybody seems to be enjoying when other people do it. So I figured I'd give it a try. See if you guys like it. So like I said, we're going to give a couple of minutes here. I'm on a little bit early. Let me know in the comments what you guys are up to this weekend. So we had kind of a relaxing Saturday ourselves. My wife's going out of town for about a week. She leaves tomorrow morning, so kind of getting prepped for that and being single dad for a week to an extra kid too, watching one of our friends' kid because she's going out of town with my wife. And I think I'm gonna meet a friend to go play some frisbee golf later today, which is not something I have ever really done, but something he's into, so figured I'd give it a try. Hey, Matt, good to see you, man. Glad you could show up. So I kind of gave you guys a solid shaves. Hey, how you doing, Kurt? So kind of gave everybody a preview on my Facebook and Instagram messages there, but got a handful of things that I picked up, some really, really cool over the past week or so. Hey, Eric. And so I'm going to be kind of showing off some of that stuff that hasn't made it into videos. I was sick about 2 weeks ago, caught a virus, not the virus, just a virus. So I haven't really made many videos. So I figured this was a good way to kind of catch everybody up on some of my new acquisitions. But I also have a little something to give away to you guys too. So it's only about 10:59 right now, so we'll give everybody another couple of minutes, see if we get any more people showing up. So drinking a little coffee. I don't know if you guys have seen this mug. If you guys have never looked at the I'd Lather Be Shaving YouTube channel, that's something, if you're interested in traditional shaving, you should definitely check that out. So it's Doug and Matt from Razor Emporium and Phoenix Shaving. And it's hilarious. It's kind of a variety show for traditional shaving. Pretty high production quality. It's not just them kind of messing around with amateur camera. They actually hired a film crew and everything. A lot of fun to watch, so highly recommend it. So I've got my mug here. Yeah, there's some viruses going around all over the place. I think it's kids getting back to school in force. You know, they've been out for most kids have been out of school for about a year. So kids going back to school, everybody's getting all those viruses that have been out of circulation for a year or so. Yeah, so this is actually caffeinated coffee, which I usually drink decaf. Every once in a great while, I'll have a cup of caffeinated coffee. So if I start bouncing off the walls, just let me know to tone it down for you guys a little bit. Not usually my personality style, but you never know. With some caffeine, it's been a while. Oh, so yeah, there's been, I don't know if anybody caught Matt's live yesterday afternoon. So Razor Emporium did a live, I think it was on all of their various channels, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's posted on YouTube if you want to go back and rewatch it. But that was insane. So Matt got a shipment from Argentina of a bunch of legacy kind of vintage gear, and it was nuts. There was a toggle in there. There was tons of executive sets, just a lot of really cool stuff that's going to be going up on their site. But it's a lot of fun to watch them open that. So I'm only about 20 to 30 minutes drive from Razor Emporium. So I make it down there quite a bit. So I told Matt to give me a heads up the next time he gets one of those boxes, because I definitely want to make it down there for that. Is there a way to predict which sample they will put in a sterling order? I've never asked. But Rod and Mandy are super nice and super accommodating. So if you give them a couple of items that you're thinking about wanting to try, I would imagine they'll probably, if they have it in sample form already, they'll probably throw that in there for you. So I bet you can ask. It doesn't hurt to send them an email. Worst they can say is no. Hey, Matt, glad you're on. All right, so it's 11:03, so we're a few minutes in. So let's go ahead and get started with kind of the stuff I had to talk about. So first thing, I announced to you guys yesterday, I've got a giveaway. So this is a brand new set of the Barbershop shaving soap and aftershave from Razor Emporium. So I did a favor for Matt, and as part of his thank you for doing him that favor, he asked if he could give me a set to give away on the YouTube channel. And I said, absolutely. I figured you guys would enjoy that. So I'll be giving this away a little bit later. So this is vegan soap. It's a really good soap. I used it this morning, actually, in preparation for this channel. Their Barbershop scent is a very bright, fresh, clean Barbershop, heavy on the bergamot. And I think I catch the geranium quite a bit in there. To me, it reminds me of a London barbershop, similar to kind of Taub's German Street or WSP's barbershop. It's kind of in that vein. Really good soap and splash. So we'll be giving that away a little bit later. So let's start with some of my new acquisitions, some of the things I've gotten. So you're right, Eric. That was very nice of Matt, and I really appreciate that, Matt. Thank you for doing that for me. So the first set of items I got are from a subscriber. So James D. James, just saw you popped in here. Good to see you. So James is one of my subscribers and very active in the YouTube community for other channels as well. I see him popping in quite a bit. So James really liked my Green Irish Tweed videos and asked if I would do something similar for Aventus. And that's a request I've gotten from quite a few people. And it's something I do want to do, but there are a lot more, probably double the amount of Aventus clones than there were the Green Irish Tweeds. So I said in a past video that, you know, if I could get a little help with that through either some Patreon subscriptions or maybe some donations, that I could probably get to that a little bit faster. So it's something I am planning on doing. It might just take me a while if I don't get a little bit of help. So James offered to help a little bit. So thank you very much, James. So the first thing I got here are some Aventus samples. So I've got Captain's Choice Venture, Black Ship Grooming, Captain's Reserve, and Taylor of Old Bond Street Royal Forest. So samples there to go towards my Aventus videos. Also got the Vanulay and Lisa's Natural. So sorry, my lights are kind of drowning those out. The Lisa's Natural and Vanulay Success. So this is their Aventus duplicate kits. And then he also threw in Captain's Choice Lime, which I've never tried. So that is a really nice lime scent. I don't have a whole lot of lime scents, but you know, something I'm kind of branching into. So the other thing that James sent me was something I was planning on picking up, and he said, hey, I've got them already. I'd be happy to send them to you because I'm done with them. And that is the Central Texas Soaps sample set. So I really like the performance of Central Texas Soaps. I've used their Irish Flats in my Green Irish Tweed videos, and I think it's a fantastic vegan soap. To me, this holds its own with any top performing soap, vegan or not. So I've checked through these samples, and I think the Tobacco Amber, the Citrus Blast, and the Grandpa's Barbershop are all ones I'm going to buy the full tubs of. There's a couple others in there that I might, but those three I think I'm definitely getting full tubs of. So thank you, James, for sending me those. Appreciate that. The gifts from the viewers are always, to me, much more appreciated. The vendor gifts are awesome, but the gifts from the viewers mean a lot more because it tells me how much you guys are appreciating what I'm doing. So Royal Forest, yeah, I agree. It's not quite the same as Aventus, but it's definitely similar. So the next thing I got, I just got this delivered a day or two ago, is 11. So this is actually a discontinued scent. I had this in the original Sapone de Palo. So I knew this was going out, and my wife loves this scent as well. So I ordered a couple of tubs of the soap that aren't here yet. But I ordered the aftershave splash as well. This is the olive, musk, and citrus, which I love. To me, this is kind of a barbershop-y scent as well. Very fresh, clean, really nice. And Paulo, as an awesome gesture, threw in an extra sample since these are on clearance, or an extra aftershave splash. So I got a 2-for-1 deal on that because Paulo is awesome. So that is one of my favorite scents of theirs. Yeah, so my wife's popping in there. It's probably her favorite scent. So I had to pick it up before it goes extinct. So the next thing I got that I haven't talked about much yet, it's been out for probably a week or two. So I got this when I was still sick. So I was sick for a couple weeks, which is why my voice is still kind of out of it. It's getting better, but it's not quite fully back yet. Is 345 soap General Patton. So this is a very nice scent. So I got it when I was still sick, and I wasn't real sure of it. I think partly because I couldn't smell very well. But the more I open this tub, the more I enjoy it. It's got some vanilla. It's got some sandalwood. It's got guaiac wood, which I don't know what that's supposed to smell like, but it's a great kind of dark. You definitely get the vanilla. It's a little bit sweet, but not much. So I really like this. John on his website says it's a warm, complex scent of victory. So I'm a subscription member. So I got the soap, I got the splash, and John also threw in for the subscription members solid cologne. So he's doing solid colognes now. I haven't tried this yet because, like I said, I used it for the first time when I was still sick and I couldn't smell very well anyways. Definitely smells just like the soap and aftershave. So that's really cool. If you guys like solid colognes, 345 has them now. So another cool thing about that particular soap set is it's got a really cool cause behind it. So for the subscription members, John threw in these cool little dog tags. So it says TAC Ops 22 on it. So for this particular soap set, this series of products, John is donating some of the proceeds of those to Mission 22, which is a charity organization that is dedicated to helping prevent veteran suicides. I think they do some other stuff as far as veterans' mental health as well, not just suicide prevention, but I think suicide prevention is their main thing. So really cool. If you guys like to support veterans' causes and mental health causes, that's definitely one that is worth supporting. And then John also threw in a little sticker there, so really cool. So let's get to some of the comments here. So Kurt said he bought Tabak original shaving soap with tallow. So yeah, Wet Shaving Community says it only sells vegan soaps. So the I did hear that Tabak is going tallow free. I don't know if that's going to affect the performance negatively or not. I haven't seen too many of the reviews on it yet. For me, I like Tabak, but it's not my favorite performing soap the way it is a lot of people's. So I don't know that I will really miss the tallow formula all that much. I'll probably pick it up just to see if the vegan's any different. We'll just have to see. So let's have a little drink there. Like I said, coffee. Nothing fancy. I'm not sure what my wife had. We do grind our own coffee, but we don't get the super fancy stuff most of the time. So let's get to some hardware stuff. Matt Fox, if you need a doppelganger gray sample, send me a PM. So I was actually thinking that might be my next purchase. I think I'm due for a PAA purchase here. So I was kind of thinking that might be the next one I buy. But thank you. So I picked up, as part of the latest Heritage Collection drop, I picked up this Adoration remake handle. So this one has the clear handle and the black ferrule with the red lettering. So this comes from Neil over at Heritage Collection. If you guys haven't checked out his stuff, it tends to sell out pretty quickly, although the spring that turned into summer drop had a lot of stuff in it. So I think he bought more this time, anticipating that they would go quickly, and he's kind of been slowly getting more out as he gets them polished up and ready. So he does still have some stock of these, but he makes really cool vintage remake shaving brush handles. So this one is drilled for a 26 millimeter. I think he does both 26 and 28, depending on which handle it is. So this one I bought to be kind of my first somewhat fun, less traditional brush. So I set my own brush knots, and I prefer synthetics. I do have one Badger, and I'm thinking about picking up a board just because it's been years since I've tried one. But pretty much my entire den is synthetic brushes. So I bought a fun one. So I bought this one to go with the red lettering. So pretty cool little synthetic. It's supposed to be similar to a tuxedo, although I think it has a little bit more backbone than the tuxedo knots I have. We'll see once I get it set and use it a little bit. Sometimes the backbone loosens up a little bit as you use them. Not always. But this particular knot came to me from got a little hair there. Sometimes you lose a couple of hairs when you first pick these knots up, even in the synthetics. But this one came to me from Smiles for Miles. If you guys don't know Smiles, he does custom brush handles. He recently partnered with Reed from Shave Cave to do their own soap. So they released a soap. The scent is based off of Obsession. So Smiles has a storefront over at Murphy & McNeil. Murphy & McNeil does a used marketplace, and they've recently expanded that. Thanks, Mike. I think it looks pretty cool too. I'm typically into traditional looking shaving brushes, but I wanted to do something a little bit fun and different. So thought that would look cool. So yeah, Murphy & McNeil recently kind of expanded as not just a used marketplace, but they're actually kind of a vendor storefront now for other vendors. So that's where I picked this up. So Smiles has, like I said, he has brushes. He's a local Arizona guy too. So I do like supporting the local Arizona vendors, which is why you see me use so much PAA and Razor Emporium, wet shaving products. I do like supporting local, and Smiles I think he's in Phoenix, maybe Mesa. So yeah, if you guys are interested in some kind of fun brushes, I think he has them in blue and maybe green or purple. I forget. He has a few different colors in this black with the. I know he has black with gray tips, which is kind of unique. So that is my Heritage Collection brush and Smiles for Miles knot. Hey, Francisco. That's fun to say. That's one of my favorite movies. I love Elf. Greetings from Brazil. Nice. We got some international crowd here. So the next one is super cool. So this is my first brush handle from Milton over at Turn and Shave. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while. So this is my 24 millimeter Turn and Shave handle. So Milton does custom brushes. He does do a wait list. So I got on the wait list back in like March. So Kurt says he likes the Atomic Rocket. That's one I don't have from PAA yet. And he said the Aerolite is on his wish list. So I do have both the Amber and the Phantom Aerolites, and I love both of those brushes. Great synthetic knots. Really cool vintage handles. John Shaves. All right. How you doing, John? So we've got some London crowd in the house. That's right. So Ken mentioned that Smiles has started doing semi-customs for the Razor company. I forgot about that. So yeah, he's making a line of brushes that the Razor company is selling. They are cool. I think they're solid colors right now. Kind of the ones I saw were kind of pastel-y. Really cool looking brushes. So yeah, Razor company. So G5 by Womo. I haven't tried any of their knots yet, although I do have what is it, the Motherlode on my wish list. I do plan on putting that in a brush at some point. So yeah, back to the Turn and Shave. So I have been wanting a kind of turquoise and copper. I've seen a few different vendors have this style of brush, and Turn and Shave was one of them. So like I said, I've been on his waiting list since about March, and I think it was June when my name finally came up. So this is kind of a turquoise with kind of a copper. I asked for kind of mostly turquoise with just a little bit of copper vein in it. So this is my copper vein Turn and Shave brush. So this was drilled for a 24 millimeter knot. So I think the hole is 25 millimeters, and it's got a couple of washers in there. I do set my own knots. So I actually made a video of this one that I'm going to be posting sometime in the near future. I got to get it edited. But I did a video of setting this one so I can show you guys if you guys want to set your own knots. The reason I do it is because I tend to like my synthetics set a little bit higher. I like them on the softer, kind of floppy is the term most people use. But I like mine like that. And so a lot of vendors will set them deeper to try and get more backbone out of them. And I don't like them as much like that. So I prefer to buy the handle and set my knot. This is not horsehair. This is a brown synthetic from AP Shave Co. So I actually bought a couple of knots because I wasn't sure which one I wanted. I tend to like to dry fit my knots first to see how they look before I decide which one is going to go into a handle. I actually bought a 24 millimeter fan shape as well. So I went with the bulb. For this particular handle shape, I didn't think the fan looked quite right. So I went with the bulb for this one, and I'll have to find another handle to put this one in. So yeah, these are 24 millimeter brown synthetics from AP Shave Co. out of Canada. So I really like AP Shave Co. knots. I've gotten synthetics from Maggard, from, like I said, Smiles for Miles, from AP Shave Co., from Phoenix Artisan. So Phoenix's knots are really good as well. To me, the fibers feel very similar to the AP Shave Co. knots. The Shave Forge knots feel a little bit different. They tend to have a little bit more of a glue bump, so they'll have more backbone. I plan on doing some videos on synthetic knots in the future just because I do like to vary the type of knots. I don't have, let me take that back. I only have 2 of the same knots. I have like 17 or 18 brushes, and they're all different knots. Some of them are the same fibers, but they're different sizes. So I do have a wide variety of experience with synthetic knots. So I'll do some videos on that in the future. I've never tried a horsehair brush, by the way. I've heard it's somewhat similar to boar, and I haven't been crazy about boar, so that's why I never went with a horsehair. Probably something I should try in the future. The Maggard's G5, I've never tried. I did just pick up one of the new G5B knots from AP Shave Co. I haven't gotten it yet. I've got another handle coming from Heritage Collection, so I picked up a couple of knots to potentially try out in that handle, and the G5B was one of them. Haven't tried it yet though. Hey, how you doing? So ShaveForge is local to Mesa. I don't know if you guys have seen, I did a couple of videos very early on in my channel. Eric over at ShaveForge gave me a couple of brushes to give away. And I've used some ShaveForge knots. I have 2 or 3 brushes that have ShaveForge knots in them. So I already had kind of a relationship with him. So he gave me a couple. Omega Evo and Simpsons T3 are 2 that I have not tried yet. So from what I've heard, they have a ton of backbone, which is not usually my thing. Eventually, I might pick 1 or 2 of them up, just to kind of see how they compare to the synthetics I typically enjoy. But those are 2 I've never tried. Have to talk to Melly Mel about getting one of those T3s. All right, so the star of the show today, the one thing I really was looking forward to showing off to you guys is I just had a razor replated over at Razor Emporium. So as a part of that favor I did for Matt, he also gave me a nice discount on replating for my Fat Boy. My Fat Boy is by far my favorite razor, although my Sterling ST is starting to compete with it. But as of now, today, my Fat Boy is still my favorite razor. And it was in need of a replate before it started pitting. It had some brassing, no pitting, but it did have some brassing starting to show. So I wanted to get it replated before that started. I had been going back and forth about settling for nickel because rhodium was so expensive, and because Razor Emporium was really the only people doing rhodium plating right now. But when Matt offered me a nice discount, I decided to go ahead and take him up on it. So I got my Fat Boy replated in rhodium, and it looks beautiful. So the finish is flawless. It is fantastic. So this is the second razor I've had replated by Razor Emporium. The first one I'll show you for comparison was my Gem Micromatic Open Comb. So this is the Gem done in nickel. And I don't know if the lights are going to let you guys see, but this is nickel compared to rhodium. And the nickel does have more of a kind of dullness to it. Still bright and shiny, but it's not the bright white finish that the rhodium is. So I love this finish on this razor. Super shiny, nice and white and clean. I used to have green paint on the numbers and the collet there. Yes, certainly shiny. And Matt gave me the option to continue the green, which I really liked because that was from Captain Murphy. If anybody knows who that was, Captain Murphy serviced this razor for me when I first got it, and he did the green paint. But the paint doesn't last very long. You typically have to get it redone every 5 years or so. So I wanted something a little bit more durable. So the black on the collet here, I think Matt said they powder coat the black, which makes it a lot more durable. So yeah, this guy opens and closes perfectly, has that nice quarter turn at the end. I do have I do have some custom blade gaps on this that Captain Murphy gave me on this razor originally because I like a more aggressive shave. So the blade gaps on this are probably about 2 levels higher than normal. And Matt was able to maintain those blade gaps for me. So I haven't shaved with this yet. I was kind of waiting to show it off first. So I'll probably be doing that in the next couple of days. But yeah, 2 razors replated from Matt over at Razor Emporium, and they are both fantastic. The finish is flawless on this one. So my Micromatic did have a little bit of pitting. So there's some places where the finish is a little bit more dull on this one, but that's no fault of the plating. That is just the nature of the razor I gave them to start with. But this Fat Boy, which was almost pristine, the finish came out perfect. So I love the finish on this. Thank you, Matt. You guys did a fantastic job on this. All right. So the reason you guys, or at least some of you, probably tuned in is the Razor Emporium. Sorry, that's my handle falling down. The Razor Emporium Soap and Splash giveaway. So the way we're going to give this away, so because Razor Emporium splashes do have alcohol, this has to be Con US. I can only ship this in the US because of the alcohol. So sorry, guys. I know there's some international guys. I hate to exclude you. I haven't excluded anybody from my other channel giveaways. I haven't had any international winners yet, but I'm sure it will happen in the future. But for this one, because I do want to make sure I give away the set, it's going to be continental US only. So how do you guys win? Drunken 7-Eleven. So I think that's Steve, right? Drunken 7-Eleven. Let me know. I think that's Steve is your name. Just got his 59 Fat Boy back and had it replated in nickel. So this one is a 1960. So this is an F2. But yeah. Okay, so how do you guys win? So we're gonna do a little trivia. I want the first person, and the first person that I see respond will win. So I want you guys to let me know, when was Razor Emporium officially founded? If you give me that year, the first one to give me that year will win the Soap and Splash. And I'll give you a hint if we don't see a winner come up in the next minute. So Razor Emporium's been around a while. Oh, Captain Will hit it on the nose with 2009. So Eric was guessing 2003. Matt guessed 2005. So Francisco got it right too. But Captain Will is the winner. So Captain Will, you can either shoot me an email at tsd@gwsmallwood.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram on my Shaving Disciple pages over there. So yes, they were officially founded in 2009. I know Matt was doing some of his, he was starting to sell off duplicates and kind of playing around before that. But yeah, officially founded in 2009. So the reason I use that as my trivia question is, if you've ever seen the Razor Emporium t-shirts, which I got to get one of those, it's right there on the logo on the t-shirts. It's not on the logo on the soaps or on the main website, but it is on the t-shirts. So congrats, Will. Like I said, message me or shoot me an email and I'll get these out to you. So been about a half an hour. So I don't want to stretch this out too long. I do want to be respectful of your guys' time. But while we're sitting here, if you guys have any questions for me, either about the gear that I was showing off or any general traditional shaving questions, I am the Shaving Disciple. So if you have any, I won't even close it off to religion questions as long as everything stays civil. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'll kind of hang out for a couple of minutes. If you guys want to ask some questions, I'm happy to field some stuff. Do want to say thank you for those of you that tuned in. Like I said, this was my first live. I'll probably continue to do these in the future. I may branch out and do one on Facebook or Instagram here and there. The nice thing about Instagram is they allow more than one person. So John, thank you for tuning in. You have a great weekend too. So yeah, I'm kind of talking to a couple of other wet tubers, as Mantic 59 calls us, about potentially doing some Instagram lives. So that might be coming up. So yeah, lots of cool stuff I've gotten in the past couple weeks. Like I said, I've already used the general patent, and I think I actually got my shipping notice for this next month's open range scent from 345. So that'll be coming up soon too. Typical 345 good performing products. That's the reason I subscribe, is I like their products and I like the way John does business. And so looking forward to open range. That's one that I'm curious about. So vetiver is one of the first scent notes, and vetiver is something that there's a couple of scents I love that have vetiver as a scent note. One of those being gondolier. But in general, I don't tend to like vetiver in my scents. And my wife, her nose is extremely sensitive to vetiver. So curious to see. This might be the first 345 scent that I'm not crazy about. But we'll see. Maybe he'll surprise me. So Eric said, I know you prefer aggressive razors. Most you have shown are stainless steel. How do you get along with lighter razors like aluminum? So the only aluminum razors that I've tried are the Icon Tech, which it wasn't necessarily the lightness of that razor. It was the lightness combined with the blade span that I didn't like. So there too much of the blade stuck out from under the top cap, which meant between that and the light weight of the razor, it skipped a lot and the blade chattered a lot for me. So I wasn't crazy about that one. The other ones I've tried have been single edge razors. So I do have a Black Hawk that I'm not crazy about. I'm probably going to sell and get a Black Hawk 3A in stainless steel instead. But the Black Hawk for me, the weight isn't a problem, especially if you pair it with a stainless handle. It's just that it's not quite efficient enough for me. I do have the La Creatura, which I haven't done a review on yet because I haven't used it quite enough to form a solid opinion. But I do get very good head shaves from that, and it's a super light. It's that ABS plastic. So that one's not bad. And then I was very surprised by the travel razor that I tried, the disposable plastic razors, double edge razors. Those worked just fine for me. I was really surprised. Do I prefer 345 over Sterling and Mike's? So it's been a few years since I've tried Mike's, and I think he's reformulated since I tried it last. So I can't directly comment on Mike's, although their old one wasn't, I didn't like it quite as much as I like Sterling. As far as 345 versus Sterling, I think they're pretty similar. 345 might have slightly better post-shave feel for me. Now for me, I interpret post-shave feel a little bit differently than most people. So most people, hey, how you doing, Andy? Most people do shave. Most people shower before they shave, and so their post-shave is they get done, they rinse, they apply a post-shave product. I shower after I shave, so my post-shave feel is how does it feel during the shower? And a lot of soaps, they'll feel a little bit sticky or a little bit tacky. I find the soaps that include a lot of the butters and a lot of the oil. So a lot of soaps will have like castor oil in them, or what's the other one? Meadow seafoam oil. those will feel better to me in the shower after I've shaved. So that's kind of the advantage I think I give to 345 over something like Sterling. So Steve said he'd be interested to know how I like the feel of the rhodium. It feels different compared to nickel, huh? So I've never tried a rhodium plated razor before. This is my first one. So yeah, I'll post about that. I'll make a point the first time I do kind of a shave of the day on Instagram or Facebook. I'll make sure and post how it feels compared to the nickel if I can tell the difference. Like I said, this one was mostly in good condition beforehand. It had a little bit of brassing kind of on the edges. So it should be pretty comparable, I would think. So Francisco said Mule R41, one of my favorite razors still. I think I've got it on my wish list. So in the near future, I do want to pick up the GS and turn my standard R41 into my travel razor, most likely. So Eric, thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. James, Steve, Francisco, so Matt, appreciate all you guys stopping in. I think we're gonna call that a day. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, for watching the videos. Glad you guys are enjoying the videos I'm making. I've been a little behind. Like I said, I was sick for a couple of weeks, but I've got 3 or 4 that just need to be edited. So I've got a few good ones coming out. I was able to review a couple of pretty high-end razors, and like I said, I got that video of me setting this knot in this brush. It's kind of a how-to video coming out too. So be on the lookout for those. And thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great weekend and have a safe Labor Day coming up. Thanks, guys.